Streaming giants are doing all they can to fight for viewers, but a new survey out from Deloitte showing that streamers may be in for some trouble, and that's because subscription fatigue is real. Now, Yahoo Finance took to the streets to find out what people are watching and whether or not they're paying for these services themselves. Check this out.
Right now I'm watching the Powerpuff Girls, but I don't really got like a favorite thing. I barely use it.
Netflix is pretty good, but I don't watch it that often, so I'm probably not the best person because it's mostly for the kids.
No, I use someone else's. I use my brother's.
Would you ever pay for your own account?
No.
No, she will not. All right, well, here to talk the latest in the digital media trends, we want to bring in Jana, Arbanas, a Deloitte Telecom Media and Entertainment Sector Leader. We also have Jeff Loucks. He's Deloitte's Center for Technology, Media, Telecommunications Executive Director. Jana, let me start with you because it's clear from the survey that you guys just put out, people aren't afraid to cancel some of their subscriptions. We just heard it from some of the people that we asked on the street there. Who is canceling and why? Is it all because of cost?
Yeah, it's a great question. In fact, I think what we see and what you saw on the slide is that actually, in fact, all generations are canceling at different rates. Across the board, we see about 44% churn. That means someone is canceling a subscription or canceling and adding a subscription in the last 6 months. We also see, as you double click into that our younger generations are turning at a much higher rate, 62 and 57% for our Gen Z and Millennials. That's a significant number. And yes, I think they are worried about costs. In fact, Millennials are the ones that spend the most on streaming video. And yet they're the ones that are turning at the highest rate, which essentially means they're looking for the most personalized portfolio of streaming services, getting the content they want when they want it, but at the price that's not too high that they're willing to pay.
Wow, Jeff, 62% churn rate for millennials. That is a concerning number if you are a streamer. What surprised you in those numbers we just discussed?
Well, there are a couple things. Millennials were the ones who ushered in the streaming revolution to begin with, right? And they do have more streaming subscriptions. But right now, they also have more financial obligations. Millennials, the oldest right now, are 40 years old. So things like inflation, things like having 4 or 5 subscriptions are weighing them down. And what they're starting to say is, look, I don't let the tap run all the time. I'm just going to turn that tap off when I don't need it, and I'll come back to it when I do. So they're just starting to balance their costs by turning these services off and then returning to them when they're ready. And that's something that we call churn and return. We found pretty high numbers overall, I think around 25% for those who said that they had a service, canceled it, and then returned to it within 6 months. And when they do that, they're managing their costs, but the profitability for the streaming suffers.
Jana, when it comes to why people are still staying subscribed, those that aren't turning, those that aren't canceling their subscriptions, what are they looking for and how does that vary based on age, did you find in the survey?
Yeah, at the end of the day, what people are looking for is really compelling, unique content. That's why people sign up. It's not necessarily cost. It's really about trying to find really great content that speaks to them. So I think that runs the gamut from generationally speaking. I just think that more consumers who are in our younger generations are a little bit more digitally savvy. In fact, one of the findings from the survey was just that our younger generations are really looking for a tapestry, frankly, of media. They are interacting not only with different streaming platforms, but also with user-generated content, with gaming, and they want to toggle between those, and they can do that from the same device. And so they actually want that like interconnectedness. And in some cases, we're seeing similar IP or franchises cut across these different forms of media, right? So we have a viral show that then launches, video gaming, and some of that hype and buzz is actually created through social media. So I do think there's an opportunity to really bring these different media types together and amplify and create more buzz for streamers through these different channels.
Jeff, what's that one thing, that thing that they can perhaps turn the knob up if they're a streamer and bring in more consumers?
Well, I think there are a couple things that they can do. One thing is to be where their consumers are. So especially if your younger consumers are playing video games, they're on UGC. Well, thinking about UGC and social, how can you end up promoting your TV shows and your movies so that you develop some viral buzz there? I think some of the better ones are doing that right now. you can also think about how you can extend your intellectual property and take advantage of some of that interconnection that Jana was talking about. So, many gamers want to see a TV show or movie of their favorite game. Well, how can you end up tapping into that and producing that? And then, the other way around, sometimes people who love a movie, maybe they will want to play a video game. And so whether you're developing that yourself or you're partnering with others, can you end up taking advantage of this flexible fandom that people have? They like it on the video game, they want to see it in TV, or the other way around.
Really interesting report. Jeff Loucks, Jana Arbanas, both from Deloitte. Appreciate that.